Shalom. Let's start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Recha, Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. I was just watching the video that Apostle Elder Tahar just put up with the Chicago camp, the brother, the Elder Malcolm, the head of the Chicago camp. And it was this Jake that came up to the camp, and he was giving brothers praises, for the studying and the speaking the language and all of that. And Elder Malcolm told him that he needs to, he noticed that he's been bouncing around a lot. He said you need to dig your roots in deep, like an oak tree. And then the brother Jeremiah basically told him that, a lot of these people out here, they're going to get killed. So you have to, either you get in the truth or you don't, because like the title says, knowing is not enough. It's not enough just to know, that you're an Israelite, because you have cheerleaders and you have sideliners. Matter of fact, I can start off with that scripture. You have cheerleaders and you have sideliners that know that they're Israelites. They can quote scriptures, they can break scriptures down, but they will not get involved in doing the work. And they think that by doing what they do, that's going to gain them brownie points with the Most High. If you know about this thing and you don't get involved, then the Lord's going to deal with you. Now, don't get me wrong. If the Spirit doesn't move you to come into this truth and to be out there in the camps, or on the line as they call it out there in Chicago and Indiana, then there's nothing you could do about it. Because you do have helps. You do have people that support. You have friends of the prophets, and some of them people, they will be delivered. Because they're part of the elect. But for the most part, a man that knows this truth and can teach it should be teaching it. Shouldn't be just on the sidelines cheering on the men that are teaching the word. They should be getting involved. You should be wanting to immerse yourself in this truth. But once again, only if you're a part of the elect will you be able to do that. All right. So first scripture I'm gonna go to is Ezekiel 33, because as I was watching the video, and I'm listening to Elder Malcolm and I'm listening to the brother Jeremiah, the title came to my mind, knowing is not enough. So I quickly jumped up, and ran out here, because the weather's starting to break, it's starting to be kind of nice out here. So, I like to go out into the elements, and be in nature whenever possible, and it's beautiful, But anyway, Ezekiel 33 and 30. Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord. And that's what they say. Come on, let's go hear what these Israelites got to say, And then some of them are doing it in a mocking fashion, and then some of them are they're intrigued, but they won't cross the line, so to speak. Now, like I said, we keep making this statement, that you could only cross to the other side and teach if the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai draws you, because the scriptures say many are called, few are chosen. So you have Israelites out there, Israelite men that know about this truth, but they're not doing anything about it. It says, and they come unto thee, and not, I have nothing against the brother that was talking to, the brothers in Chicago, because he had nothing but praises. He was saying good things. He knew the knowledge, but the thing is, he's not doing anything about it. So knowing is not enough. You have to get involved in the word. You have to get involved in the work. And if you don't get involved in the work and you have the ability to do so, then that's a strike unto you. The scriptures say, he that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. It says, and they come unto thee, as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people. Yeah, they, oh yeah, the Israelite, but big in the fist up, Some of them know how to say shalom or shalom, kwam yasha'al and all of that. It says, but they will not do them. So they'll praise and they'll give the speech of being Israel, and big ups and all that, but they won't get involved in the work. Salaki, brothers. I'm a little parched, Salakia. It says, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. See, and that's the key. So it's not just knowing. Knowing is not enough. And that's the reason why you start off as a babe. You get nurtured, you drink the milk, and you grow. And as you grow, you start doing little lessons here and there, basics. The basics is deep, man. Basics is the basic scriptures, the basic milk scriptures of the Bible are super deep. Because just remember, before any of us woke up, when we first heard this, it's like, man, that's deep. But to the men that were teaching, it was basic things that they teach all the time. So you got to remember that the basics of the scriptures is deep within itself. Those basic fundamental building block scriptures are very deep in itself. And I was watching these videos that Captain Karab had sent me, and dealing with Abba Bivens, and he spoke about how Abba Bivens would read the Torah, and he said that one time a man in a gray suit came to him and it showed him how to pronounce the Hebrew. It was the ah, ba, ga, da, ha, and then the I and the I sound, But he said, I didn't like that. I didn't like, and the thing about it is not what you like. It's what the truth is. And most people can't fathom that an angel can appear to you and give you revelations of the scriptures, just like, but people will be quick to believe that a woman that's a virgin just got pregnant by the Holy Spirit, but they won't believe that an angel would come down and actually show you certain mysteries of the scriptures. I just wanted to throw that out there because Lord's will, later on I want to do a Hebrew lesson. I was supposed to do it yesterday. I didn't do it. So Lord's will, I could do it today, and I kind of wanted to mention that and touch on that. All right, so it says, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them, for with their mouth they show much love. Oh, big up to the Israelites, oh, shalom, kwam yasha'Allah. But their heart goeth after their covetousness, because this truth is an addiction, It's like it's an addiction, It's just like when you have a crackhead, the crackhead could be the nicest person in the world, but when it comes time to dealing, to getting that crack, they have to have it, and even if they turn into the devil, because that crack and these different drugs are an addiction, whether they're drugs that you buy on the street or whether they're pharmaceuticals that you get from the doctor, and from the pharmacy, Oxycontin and Percocets and codeine and stuff like that. All that stuff is addictive, opium, heroin, all that stuff is addictive. So this truth is supposed to be an addiction for us, something you can't wait to get your next fix or your next hit, and that's how the truth is. When you read in the Apocrypha, in the prologue, it says that he translated these things for those that were addicted to learning. We have to be addicted to this thing. It has to stir up our passion, our emotions, to really get involved and do the work. Because if that emotion and that passion and that zeal is not there, then you're not going to get involved. Just like when you meet a woman and you have that, that desire, man, I can't wait to, to pop, for the first time, that's how we have to be with this truth. It has to be an addiction to us, It says, and lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice. And they're like, oh man, I like what y'all brothers are saying. Y'all getting down this, that, and the other, but they won't get involved. And then it says in the margin, in the Hebrew, it says a song of loves. You know, like you hear your favorite song on the radio, and then you humming along with the lyrics, you know, in the chorus, because you like it. Well, this is what this word is like to some people. You know, they like to hum it, but they don't like to get down with it. It says, and lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words, but they do them not. And that's why I said, you know, the Spirit gave me the title, knowing is not enough. Okay? And even Esau says, knowing is half the battle. You know, then you have to put it into motion. You know, and that putting into motion, that takes great faith to take that next step or that next leap. You know, it's like a leap of faith. You know, it says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. And then they're going to be like, man, we knew that y'all was the prophets. We saw y'all teaching in the streets. You know, we was even teaching some, you know, but you have to be involved in the work in order to receive the prize. Which the prize is what? That penny in the kingdom of heaven. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 21. It says, not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. And what is doing the will of the Father? Feeding the sheep. Matter of fact, let me get that. I had that on the list, but Spirit bringing it out now, so let's go, champ. This is John, St. John 21:15. So when they had dined, Yahushua said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my lambs. So part of showing love for Yahushua, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, is feeding the sheep, feeding the flock. You know, that's real love, because love is done in deeds. Love is, see, in this society, the word love is just thrown around. Oh, I love you, you know, but love is done in deeds, not in words, because words are empty unless there's some, words are empty unless there's some substance behind it, you know, some action that brings those words to pass, you know. It says, he saith to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my sheep. The second time he told him this. And Peter, he's not understanding what Yahushua is meaning, because he's like, man, why is the Lord asking me this? You know, why does he keep asking me the same question? Well, because he's trying to embed it into your mind, what it means to love Yahushua, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. The love of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is to feed his lambs, to do these lessons, to do the work, to do your sit downs, to go out and teach. The main work is out there on the streets, you know, and it's not enough just to know that you're an Israelite and know the breakdowns. You have to actually be involved, you know, you have to be involved. It says, he saith unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved, because he said unto him the third time, lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahushua said unto him, Feed my sheep. So he told him the third time, because you have knowledge, you have wisdom, and then you have understanding. And understanding usually comes in threes. Like the vision that Peter saw, he saw the vision 3 times before the sheet was taken up. So that third time is understanding, to embed into the Apostle Peter's mind the importance of showing your love and your devotion for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is to teach these words and to push this truth, you know. And that's part of the feeding the sheep and feeding the lamb, which is the action shown by what you really feel inside, you know, that love that you feel inside for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right, it says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, when thou was young. Okay, that's going into something else. So now let's go back to St. John 7:21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? Yeah, because you're going to have some guys that actually went out there and stopped going out there. You're going to have some guys that they'll come to the speaking or listen, and then they might say a few words to somebody, you know, break down a few scriptures to somebody, but they never took the next step, you know? Now, don't get me wrong. Some of those people, if you're of the elect, you're going to be saved, you know? And not every person out there is going to really be, because not everyone's a prophet, you know? So please understand that. Not everyone's a prophet. But whatever the gift the Lord gave you, use that gift. Don't waste it. Don't waste that talent. You know, this is pretty much another scripture pretty much going into the talents. It says, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Fucking Satan. It says, therefore whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, boy, I tell you, the devil is everywhere. All right, Salakia. It says, I just lost my spot. Hold on. Bear with me. It says, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Why? Because the main thing is what? Feeding the sheep, feeding the lamb, bringing out the understanding, building brothers up. You know, because, you know, you got to realize that you have brothers out here that are going through things, you know. they don't understand how to, you know, how to battle those things. So it's our job to feed them so that they can have the proper armaments to gird up their minds, to learn this knowledge so that they can be able to fight back the wiles of Satan through the scriptures. You know, and that's part of the reason why we teach, because that's a part of building up, you know, teaching these character building lessons, you know, that the average Israelite group out there does not do. They don't encourage their members. They don't what's the word I'm looking for? Put that mollifying ointment on the wounds, so to speak, of these Israelites out here, because Israel, scripture say the whole head is sick. So we out here teaching. The Lord said, comfort ye my people. So we're pushing out His word, and those that are to receive it, you know, will get it. And those that are not to receive it will be condemned by it. That's the bottom line. It says, therefore whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. Why? So if we do the things that Yahweh Shai commanded us to do, not only do we show our love and devotion for Him, but also the Lord is going to stabilize us. Like the Elder Malcolm, I told a brother, I said, look, you got to dig your roots in deep like an oak tree, you know, and that's part of the Lord stabilizing us. But when we do the work of the Lord and we teach His words and we feed His sheep and His lamb, He increases us spiritually, you know. It says, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon the sand, and the rain descended. And so when all hell breaks loose and all in society's in shambles, the men that have done the work of the Lord will stand up stern and stand up firm. But the ones that knew about the Lord's word and didn't do it, didn't feed the sheep, didn't feed the lamb, you know, they will not be protected. They will not be stable. They will not be firm, you know, in these things that are coming, because they're half-stepping. They're lukewarm, you know. It says, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand, like Nabal. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. You know, so So if we don't do the things that the Lord commanded us to do, then we're going to fall. And we don't want that. You know, the same thing with these brothers that's out here that know about the truth, that have the ability to teach and are not doing it. You know, that's like taking your talent and putting it in a napkin, or digging a hole in the ground and putting your talent there. It's not going to fly. Knowing is not enough. All right, so let's go from there. Let me see what I got on the list. All right, I got, okay, let's go to James chapter 1. This is the book of James, the first chapter, and just bear with me while I find the 21. James 1 and 21. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. So the first step is what? Believing the truth. Now what's the second step? Confessing the truth, going out there and teaching it. Let me see if I can find this other precept. What is that? Is that Romans? Yep, Romans the 10th chapter. And all right, well, I'm gonna hit this here first. Romans 10:17. So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High. But there's another one in the same chapter, I believe it is. Just bear with me 1 second. I believe it's in the same chapter. Just bear with me, brothers. Here it goes, 10th verse. For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. So part of it is not just knowing, it's also doing. And what is it doing? Teaching. Because we are the mouthpiece of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai out here, you know, setting the record straight of what it really is. You know, what's really going on, what's really going down. And even the videos I was watching earlier, they said that Abba Bivens would actually teach the New Testament, but he said he would teach it different from the people, the so-called Christians. He would actually teach a different doctrine than the so-called Christians, or he would teach the New Testament different than the so-called Christians, because he wasn't teaching that so-called Jesus loves everybody doctrine. You know, he was teaching the New Testament the way that you would teach the Old Testament, dealing with only Israel shall be saved, and the other nations will be slaves. You know, and that's what he taught, and that's what I got from it when he actually mentioned that. You know, damn brother, you messed me up on that, Pashai, Elder Pashai. There's a video, I'm trying to remember what it was called, where he was going into how Abba Bivens, you know, Lord's will, I'll bring it up, you know, later, you know, because I wanted to do, Lord's will, I want to do a Hebrew lesson, so I want to kind of bring it up. So Lord's will, I'll bring it up there and post it in the description box for you, brothers, so y'all can check it out. All right, so we can move on. Romans 10 and 10. For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. So that's the salvation, not just hearing it, but actually doing it. Because like I said, through the Spirit, we are the mouthpiece of the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, on the earth, setting the record straight of how it's, or what the real deal is. What is the Bible really saying? We are that mouthpiece. We are those men that the Lord opened up our mouths to tell the world what's really going down, and to set the record straight. Because this book has been misguided. This book has been misused. This book has been mistreated. This book has been blasphemed. But we're here to set the record straight to the world and to anyone within hearing distance. You know, we're the ones that's setting the record straight through the Spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. This is the book of 2 Thessalonians, since the Spirit brought that just to my mind. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed. What wicked? Who the devil is. Who are the people of Satan? Who are the sons of the wicked? That's what's happened. This is what's being revealed. And the word reveal means to peel the veil back. So this is what's happening. So we're setting the record straight through the power and spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua through the words of this book. It says, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Because the Most High was allowing this devil to do the deviltry that he was doing until he was ready to take him out. But the Most High could do what he wants to do. But before the Lord does anything, well, wait a minute. Amos chapter 3 verse 7. The scriptures could describe it better than I can. Amos 3 and 7. Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. So before the Most High does anything, he reveals his secrets unto his servants the prophets. And then what do the prophets do? The prophets go out, they prophesy, they teach, and then after a certain period of time, the Most High comes and makes good on his word that he put into the mouth of his prophets. I got one more before we continue on. This is the book of Jeremiah 28 and 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied. That's why it says covet to prophesy. Why? Because that's our job. The greatest gift is prophecy. So we're supposed to covet to prophesy. Now, coveting is wrong if you're coveting something somebody else has. But when you covet to prophesy or covet to have spiritual things, spiritual knowledge, wisdom, understanding, that's a righteous coveting. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So that's what our job is. And then after a certain period of time, when the prophets prophesied, what happened? The Lord brought the destruction that he mentioned. Look at Noah. During the time of Noah, Noah prophesied that it was going to the Lord was going to destroy the world by flood. And after a certain period of time, when Noah prophesied, then the Lord brought the flood and destroyed the people. He made good on his word, but he used a man to push out his word, to bring out his secrets, to give the sentence, to give the judgment. And then afterwards, he actually brought the judgment. But first it's done by exposing, by speaking, prophesying, and then by the action that the Most High is going to bring. That's what the Apostle Paul said, I will not know the speech of them that are puffed up, but the power. Because the Most High is showing his power, by us going out there and speaking. The insignificance of this world, But in the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, we're valuable. It says, back in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. See? So the Lord is going to first reveal him through the spirit of his mouth, which is what? The prophets out there. I will give you passages that will feed you with knowledge and understanding. According to my heart, the Lord said. Then the Lord's going to bring the action, which is the judgment. And we're coming down to the time of the judgment. That's why you see certain prophecies coming to pass. You see the overwhelming evidence of the microchip being the mark of the beast, and how they're pushing legislation, to so-called not make it mandatory, which shows you that they want to make it mandatory. And if they do push that law, it may just die right on the floor of the Senate, because the international bankers that are ruling this world, they want the microchip. That's their creation. That's their baby. That's what they want. That's going to make them be like the Most High, because they want to control your every thought, your every movement, your every dollar that you eat, every morsel of food that you eat. Every dollar that you spend, should I say, and every morsel of food that you eat. They want to control all of that. Okay? So the Lord is exposing these devils. So now, going back to where were we before that? Let me see. Back to James' first chapter. Excuse me. Just bear with me so I get back to the James 1 and 22. But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Why? Because if you hear the word and you don't do anything about it, then you're like a man that didn't do the Lord's will. You know, and what did the Lord say? If you don't do his will, he's going to spew you out of his mouth. You're not going to be protected in that day. Okay? It says, for if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his face in a natural glass. Like when you go, you know, into a mirror or a glass or something, or you walking by a car with tinted windows and you look at yourself. If you hear the word and don't do it, it's like you come to the mirror, you see yourself, and as soon as you walk away, you forget who you are or who you were. You forgot what you look like. That's the same thing as hearing the word and not doing it, because we're doing it and pushing it because the Lord got us first and foremost. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Al Shai got us doing it, but this is our identity. This is who we are. You know, this is our nationality. These are our customs. This is our language. So it's not a thing where it's a part-time thing. Like when you go to work, you leave work, you're not even supposed to be thinking about work. You know, you go about your life, and until the next time you got to go back to work. This is not like that. This is not a thing where you put off being a Hebrew Israelite. You put it in the attaché case or in the dresser, on top of the dresser, or slide it under the bed, and then when it comes time to go back out again to the camp, that's when you become an Israelite again. It doesn't work like that. You know, that's not how it works. You know, this thing is a 24 hours, 24/7, 365 day of the year event. You know, we're Israelites all around, always, not just when it's convenient or when it's time to go out to camp. All right. It says, where are we at? This is the 24th verse. It says, for he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. And that's the case. You know, so if you listen and you don't get involved and you don't do the work, it's like you pretty much forgetting that you're an Israelite. You know, it's like you saying that you don't have hope of salvation. And that's the reason why we're out here in these streets, man. Because the Lord said that it pleased the Lord by the foolishness of preaching to save them which believe. And it says, continue in the doctrine, for in doing so you will save both thyself and them that hear thee. So if you got your mouth shut, if you got your hands in your pocket, if you got your talent in a napkin, if you got your talent buried somewhere like a hidden treasure, then how are you going to be able to speak and teach and bring the information out? It says, but whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, because what is the liberty? The liberty is that Yahweh Shai died for our sins. So we no longer held accountable for those sins. You know, that's why the Apostle Paul said, don't use your liberty as a cloak of maliciousness. Because just because we have forgiveness from Yahweh Shai doesn't mean we just go out and do whatever the hell we want to do. You know? So we're looking into that because prior to Yahweh Shai coming on the scene, we had no hope. So now we have the hope. So we're looking into that perfect law of liberty. It says, and continue therein. Meaning what? Continue in that liberty. You know, the scripture said we the Lord's freedmen, right? We're able to come and go as we please. So that means that that we're able, excuse me, to teach this word at any given moment, any given time. You know, brothers back in the days will have the excuse that they didn't have a computer or this, that, and the other. Well, now you got the cell phones, which is a computer in itself. I'm going live off of my cell phone. You brothers, you know, that do your lessons, you go live off your cell phones, or sometimes you do screen recordings off of your phone and upload it right from your phone. You know, what you waiting for? You waiting for the Lord to come down here and spoon feed you? You know, and hey, like the Spirit jumped on me yesterday to say, man, you brothers in Great Millstone don't know how easy you got it, man. You could have been under Nate. You could have been under Comfy. They would have been grilling you. You would have had no time to even think. You would have had no money to spend because they'll bleed you dry, man. You'd have been taking your last little bit of dollar when you wanted to go get a bottle of Yayan, and you had to give it to Nate so he can get that bullshit ass jet plane. So you can jet set around the world. Our people are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and we must go, you know? Come on, man, get the fuck out of here. So you brothers don't know how easy you got it, man. You know? Hey, you know, brothers, you have brothers in Suriname. You have brothers in Guyana. You have brothers in the Caribbean islands. You have brothers in Africa. You have brothers in Australia, Netherlands, Canada, England, and all over the place that have heard this, Mexico, you know, that have heard this word via the internet. And they went out there and set up camps and call themselves GMS or Great Millstone via the internet. Neither one of us had to go jet set and go over there and set up a camp. See, because the Most High is the one that's moving the elect to do what they got to do. It says, but whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. See? And now let's see, there's a precept there for deed. This is verse 25. Or doing. It says, if any man among you seemeth to be religious or worship, threskia is the Greek word there. If any man seems to be worshiping, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain, or this man's worship is vain. You know, because scriptures also speak about corrupt communication. You know, evil communication corrupt good manners. So pretty much, evil communication is speaking, teaching the word other than how it's supposed to be taught. You know, teaching a different doctrine, as the Apostle Paul mentioned. It's the same book, but a different doctrine. All right, it says, pure religion or pure worship and undefiled before the Most High and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. And how do you do that? by teaching. You know, it says, visiting. How do you visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction? By teaching the word, comforting brothers. You know, some lessons are character building. Some lessons, you know, build up, give comfort to brothers. You know, like the brother Barack Abar, we were speaking yesterday, and you know, he made a trip from where he lives to go out to Jersey to break bread with those brothers, you know, and you know, to comfort a brother, because the brother, you know, may have been going through some things, and he picked up in the spirit that the brother was kind of a little down in the spirit. So he went over to where the brothers at and broke bread with them brothers. You know, I haven't seen the video yet, but you know, they got together and you know, broke bread. You know, and that's part of the afflict, you know, healing the afflictions of Jake. You know. And these lessons, they do that. They comfort you. That's what the scriptures say, that the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. You know? So that's why sometimes you do prophetic videos. Mostly we do prophetic videos because this place got to go down. And the Lord is taking it down. But we also do character building videos. We also do videos about the high holy days. We do videos to comfort brothers, you know? And many other different types of videos. You know, whatever the Spirit feeds us, we feed brothers. And the same thing with you, brothers. Whatever the Spirit feeds y'all, you feed other brothers. And that's how this thing has been growing so much. It's like that spiritual juggernaut. All right, so now jumping from there to James, the 2nd chapter. Let me see, in the interest of time, I don't have a verse yet, so just bear with me. All right, here we go. James chapter 2 and verse 14. Just bear with me 1 second, brothers. Okay. It says, this is James chapter 2 verse 14. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith and have not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding you give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit? See? So you can't just will somebody to be okay. You know, here it is, you see your brother in need, but then you shut up your bowel of compassion from him. You don't give him, you know, you being greedy, you don't give him, you know, you don't give him anything to help fill his belly. You know, and that happened a lot at One West. You know, brothers would be starving and hungry, and the dude would go and buy food for himself, and here there's a brother starving, and this guy's stuffing his face. That's wicked, man. It says, even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead being alone. So you have to have faith and you have to have works. So knowing is not enough. Believing is not enough. You have to actually do. You show your belief by doing the action, and the action shows what's in your mind. You know, whatever action you take, that's what shows what's in your mind, if you really have faith or not. Because it says, yea, a man may say, thou hast faith and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. See? So how do you show your faith? By the works. That's why Yahweh Shai said, if you love me, feed my sheep, feed my lambs. So in other words, if you love me, this is how your love is going to be shown, by the deeds that you do. So if you're out there feeding my sheep and feeding my lamb, that means that you really truly love me. Okay? Thou believest that there is one power, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Because it said that Abraham believed and it was accounted to him for righteousness. But then what did he do? He was going to offer his son Isaac as proof that he really believed. It says, seest thou how faith wrought with works, with his works, and by works was faith perfect. And that's it. Your works or your faith is perfect or perfected by the works. And we're also perfected by sufferings. All right. And the scripture was fulfilled, which saith, Abraham believed the Most High, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of the Most High. You see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. Likewise also was not Rahab the harlot, justified by works, when she had received the messengers and had sent them out another way. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. So don't deceive yourselves, brothers. You know, if you say you have faith but you're not doing the work, then you got to question, do you really have that faith? You know? Let's see what else I got. I'm about to, you know, close it. I mean, I got a good amount of precepts left. I'm gonna try to see if I can get through a couple of these. Let's see, St. John 8:31. Let's see what that says. St. John 8:31. Don't be the guy that keeps his talent in a napkin, man. John 8:31. It says, I start at 30. As he spake these words, many believed on him. Then said Yahushua to them, to those Jews which believed on him, if you continue in my word, then are you my disciples indeed. So there's conditions. You know, you can't just say you're a disciple of the Lord and don't do what he says, because you're deceiving yourself. All right. Next one is Romans 2:13. Should be able to get through these couple more that I have. Romans 2:13 says, for not the hearers of the law are just before the Most High, but the doers of the law shall be justified. Right. So if you're saying you're keeping the law, but you're not, then you're a liar. You know, and that's why I said you have to keep the whole law, because if you offend in one part, you broke all of them. You know, but the point is, if you're gonna make your boast in the law, you can't just say you keep the law by just with your mouth without actually physically doing it. You know. Let's see what else I got here. 1 John 3:7. This is the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 7. It says, like little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. And what's righteousness? Doing the work of the Lord, teaching his word, because the scripture said that the law is just and the commandment is spiritual, or is a light, you know. So that's righteousness. That's showing your devotion and your faith to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And I got the last scripture I have is in the book of St. John again. St. John has a lot of good meat in it. St. John 6 and 45. You know what? Hold on, let me make sure I got the right precept. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm sorry, it's Luke 6 and 45. But the book of John does have a lot of good meat in it. Luke 6 and I'll start at 43. For a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit, neither does a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. For every tree is known by his own fruit. For of thorns men do not gather figs, nor of a bramble bush gather they grapes. Right. So if your tree is fruitless, what's going to happen? The Lord's going to cut you down and throw you in the fire. There's a precept for grapes. Let me see the 44th verse. A grape. It says, a good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good. See? And that's what? That's doing these lessons. That's what's good. It says, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh. So from the abundance of a man's heart he speaks. So if your addictions are of things of the world, you're going to speak about things of the world. But if your addictions are of the truth, you're going to speak about things of the truth. Now, don't get me wrong. You get together with brothers, sip, maybe watch a basketball game or football game, whatever, you like to do. You may speak about certain team players or boxing, boxers or whatever, or certain rappers or whatever, you'll have that. But for the most part, you usually always speaking about the truth. It says, and why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. He is like a man which built an house and digged deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock. Who's that rock? Yahushai. And Yahushai set up Peter as that stone, the foundation, because he was going to take over the position that Yahushai had when Yahushai went back to the Father. Because that was a rock, the house that the Lord Yahushai built. But he that heareth and doeth not is like a man that without a foundation built a house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. Why? Because he had no foundation. He wasn't grounded in the teachings of Yahushai, So pretty much, that's been the lesson. Knowing is not enough. I know you brothers, put comments and stuff. I didn't get a chance to read any of the comments, but the water for posting the comments, the water for watching. Hope you brothers have been edified, and to the next time, I say shalom.